This is the Brian Noe Show on NBC Sports Northwest, 620 Rip City Radio.
All right, very pleased to welcome in Chris Smith, Washington State head basketball coach, joining us here on the Brian Noe Show. Obviously going to pick his brain about C.J. Ellaby, who was just drafted by the Blazers. But before we start, you've got Portland roots, Coach. You've got some roots. What are these Portland roots that you're telling me about?
You know what? I really grew up in Houston, but when I was 5 to 7, I lived in Portland, or Beaverton, actually. And then my parents got divorced, but I still came back for Christmas and summers and spent some time in Portland. And my dad had season tickets to the Blazers in the championship season. Went to Maurice Lucas basketball camp, 1977. I was 8 years old. It made a big impression on me. I'm coaching, so always kind of been a Blazer fan.
I love it. Now, first off, I have to apologize, Coach, because I just talked to Chris Sims from NBC Sports, and so I had Chris on my mind.
Don't apologize. Don't apologize. I thrive in anonymity. My last name's Smith. I used to coach in New York City. No one had any idea I was a coach. I just walked the streets. It was great. I love it. Don't worry.
I think you should channel your inner who's the Wichita State head coach? Greg Marshall. You should channel your inner Greg Marshall and give me a tongue lashing over here. You know what I mean?
I don't have it in me. I'm Mr. Positive.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Positive, I want to get your honest evaluation of C.J. Ellaby. What do you think of him as a player? What type of player did the Blazers just select last night?
You know, he's a believer, and I actually have a couple of roots. A guy reminds me of, and even though a different position, is a guy that played for the Blazers, Patty Mills. And I was assistant at St. Mary's when Patty was there. And people ask, well, what's Patty's strength? I said he's a believer. He just thinks he belongs. And that's the most important trait, I think. It's confidence. And it obviously took Patty a little time to, maybe the Blazers missed out, not hanging in there with him. But I never coached a guy. It reminds me of Patty again. On game night, he just thought he was the best player out there every night. And he went for it. And that's unbelievable trait. And then he's a grinder. Another guy that he's still on my phone. I recruited Damian Lillard was at St. Mary's. It's just a debacle how Weaver beat us. He's a loyal guy and everything. And you can see how it's played out for him. And CJ's a monster worker like Lillard. So I don't know if the Blazers did the research or whatever, that I know a little bit about their culture and how they want to develop guys. I think they're big on that, and he's got the same mojo. He will try to keep up with Dame on the workouts.
What area did you see CJ's game improve the most from when he first started at Washington State to where he is now?
I think it's defensively on both sides of the ball. He became a two-way player, and I think we talked about, and our goal is me and him met every month or so, just kind of see an update on progress and said, hey, my goal is to win as many games for this program. Your goal is being that we could work this thing together. And I just thought, I've coached several NBA guys, and I just think what he needed to do, you got to be able to defend someone in that league. You can't be a guy that can't. You got to find a way to do that. And he led the Pac-12 in defensive rebounds, which is pretty impressive. And having a nose for the ball and going after every night. So he got a lot better there. And then he had to carry the burden a little bit in a program that we inherited. It's only my first year. This will be my second year. They were 205th best program in the country as a freshman. So that's for the Pac-12. That's really down. So we made a big jump there. He went from being Robin to Batman, and had to grind it and average 19 a game and having to play with that. I think that's how you get good. Having to play in that responsibility and compete every night. And he became a better scorer, but his ability to defend and combine those two, it's not an easy process.
He's Kyle Smith, Washington State head basketball coach, joining us here on the Brian Noe Show, talking about C.J. Ellaby, Blazers draft pick from last night. If you look at, this is the highest level of basketball, as you well know, Coach, going to the NBA. So looking at C.J. jumping to the league, do you look at a certain area and say, it's going to have to be better to be in that type of, around that type of caliber of opponent?
I think for him, it's a matter. He's young. I think that's probably what the Blazers saw that too. I think he just turned 20. To be that accomplished, that thing, I think a lot of it's going to be maturation process physically. He's pretty strong. He works at it. I think that part. But like I said, mentally, he believes he belongs. He has the right mindset. He's got a growth mindset. And I've always said, like, guys ask me who you compare. I said I think he could be like a Danny Green, in that kind of two-way player, bangs threes, good size, competes hard, be a part of a championship team, understand what he can do, and he's got good beliefs. So I think that's probably have to develop, just find his way. He'll find a path, and whatever the coaches tell him to do, I think he'll be really driven to do it. I think it's really part of his identity is basketball. He's really passionate, and that's going to be him being a part of that organization, find a way in there. He'll find his way in. Best I can tell. I don't think it won't be because of lack of work. I'll put it that way.
How about this, Coach, where I think coaches watching one of their players go from college to the NBA, it's almost like seeing a boy become a man. So it's really cool to see that. But do you think about the extra layers this year where the season gets cut short due to COVID? You're watching a virtual draft, right? So for those extra layers on top of just seeing a college player go to the NBA, what was that like for you last night?
It was great. I mean, honestly, I think CJ was really close to coming back with the whole virus, and he said, I just don't know what's going to expect college basketball and just get ready to go. And I think say more turmoil, more adversity helps a guy like him because he's willing to bet on himself. He's willing to work hard. He'll be more ready than others, I would imagine, because he's just that kind of guy. He's got the grit, the work ethic. He'll be in shape. He'll come ready to work. He's willing to learn. So I think it's his advantage, to be honest. I think if they've done, I'm sure the Blazers, we spoke with them, and NBA, they're going to do every character check and I always say, like, he's a better person, a player. And that's how we succeed. We look at what you're made of, your attitude, your hunger, your desire. We say we're looking for PhDs, poor, hungry, and driven. CJ, your best players that way, that's great. So I think he's that guy.
Kyle Smith, Washington State head basketball coach, joining us here. I want to circle back to your recruitment of Dame. What do you remember about trying to get Dame over to your school and him saying, no, I'm going to Weber State?
This is really embarrassing moment. It was because it was kind of late bloomer, really blossomed, and we just did a poor job. He's literally 10 minutes from our campus. He's growing up, playing the Oakland Athletic Leagues, leading the league in scoring, but came on that summer, and we really felt we're laughing, we're giggling. We're like, Cal's not recruiting him, Pac-12's not recruiting him. Actually, Washington State, this is funny, he was at their elite camp, and the assistant for Washington State called me and said, hey, I know you probably know this guy, but we're not going to take him. And but we think he's really good. And I'm like, who is it? He goes, Damian Lillard. I said, and I'm like, I hadn't seen him. It's really embarrassing. So we see him, like, no, we're involved, we're recruiting, like, oh my gosh, we're just giggling. We think we're going to get him. And then I go, tell me, I asked him who's his favorite player. And usually that's Kobe or something like that. And he goes, Paul Marigny. And no, I'm sure you don't know who Paul Marigny is. Well, Paul Marigny played at St. Mary's, and he's from the same neighborhood. And I'm like, we're getting this guy. This is silly. And then later I go, now, is Weber really serious? And he looks at me stone-faced and goes, absolutely. They're the first school that reached out to me. And I go, my heart sunk. I go, oh, that was it. I think I just blew it. I questioned, gosh, and you know how loyal the guy is. And I'm like, oh my God, it was the worst time to be. And I'm usually not, worst time to be arrogant ever. And I'll take the hit for it. I mean, we've chopped it up 1,000 different ways. And I think at the end of the day, I think his dad, there's a story where he still didn't want to leave close to home. Someone said he made a commitment to Weber, and he stuck with it. And his best thing, happy for him, happy for Randy Ray. And we were still good, but I can't imagine what it would look like with Dellavedova. There's a chance we would have had Dellavedova, Mills, and Lillard, three guys running around. Mills left, but there was a potential we would have those three guys running around our backcourt, which would have been pretty special, to say the least. Wow.
And you've stayed in contact with Dame throughout the years?
Yeah. Can I share one unbelievable story?
Sure.
It's crazy. What a good person he is. And I'm not really, but occasionally, but he has his AU programs, Team Lillard, and then Bay Area. I'm coaching in San Francisco, and the leading scorer, OAL Player of the Year we're recruiting, and he comes with those, and he has a good freshman year, and he comes to my office in the spring. He says, Coach, I'm thinking about leaving. I said, whoa, hold up. I think that's a mistake, da-da-da. And I said, so I reached out to Dame. I texted him. I said, hey, Sule is thinking about leaving. Would you mind talking to him? And I said, I know you're up to your eyeballs in alligators. They were down 3-0 to the Pelicans in the playoffs. And I said, and he goes, no problem. And he not only does he, I just would have text. He took 15 minutes or maybe 20 minutes. He said, and he talked to the kid and said, hey, I went through the same thing as a freshman, blah, blah, blah. And you hang in there, stick it out. And I'll always be appreciative beyond belief. There's no incentive other than that he cared about the guys that represent his program, represent what he's about. And he just said it's the right thing to do to stick it out. And the funny part of the story, kid still left. So, and I hate to bring that part, but like I was fine. I was like, hey, if he's willing to do that and tell him to stay, and the kid left, at least I just felt he was fully informed, and he had, it can't be a better mentor, and things worked out for everybody. But him to take that time during that was remarkable to me.
Hey man, I appreciate the story because there are a lot of players that would be in me mode. They're just thinking about themselves. I'm down 0-3. It's all about me.
Blazers fans probably mad at me. What are you doing? You're preying on guys like.
But that's just how he is. I've always said that with Dame, where he's a superstar. He doesn't need to give thoughtful answers, yet he does every time. He'll give you a thoughtful answer if it's a post-game interview. He doesn't have to try like that, but he does. It's just how he is.
No, and it's great to see because that's so much things that we talk about. And the character development as a program. I'm at that age where, like, hey, character will win in the end. And to see him be successful and stay with it, and who's rooting against that guy? You know what I mean? He's a stud. So excited for his success, and wish would have started at St. Mary's, whatever there. But like I said, we've all thrived, and very fortunate. Basketball's been good to all of us.
Okay, Kyle Smith, I've got to ask you because you contracted COVID. How's everything going with that? How are you feeling?
I think I'm really lucky. It was like a nasty head cold. I think I'm on the backside of it, still in isolation and doing following the right protocols. So we didn't have any outbreaks or anything like that, but doing well. And so, like I said, I think I'm pretty lucky. And I was very cautious on masking up and everything else. But habits weren't perfect, but just hard. I just think it's really breaking out, and try to be as safe as possible. Everyone out there, and hopefully you're as lucky as me. And I hope there's not another wave coming at me, but I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. Is there a target date? Because you've got to just be chomping at the bit right now. The season's right around the corner,
Oh, I'm lucky. My staff, I got a good staff, and Jim Shaw, who's actually he's coached at Oregon State in Portland. He's been from that area, and he's going to be, acting head coach for about a week here, and I'm due to come back the day of our first game or day after. So we'll see how it shakes out. But this year, that's minor adjustment this year. What's going on? So challenge for everyone, and we'll be fine.
Well, hey, Coach, it was great catching up with you, man. I love talking to you. You got a great attitude. You're one of the dudes. I'll say this: we'll have guests on the show, and they'll just make my day better. They'll make me feel better. And I feel I'm energized. I'm ready to run through a brick wall after talking to you, Coach.
That's good. Makes me feel good. I said, coaching is about empowering people, feel good about themselves. We just talk about having great attitudes, working hard, and, happy to be here, and be appreciative. So, and that's what I think that's what the Blazers are about. I think that's what Lillard's about. That's what I think they got a good one in CJ, and I know his family's going to be pumped. Hopefully it works out and they can just drive down to Blazers games, and that's not a bad drive for them. That's the best place for an era. I know they're really excited and tickled, and it'll work out for him because he has a great attitude and he's willing to work. So really excited for everyone.
That's awesome, Coach. Hey, man, well, thanks for the stories. Thanks for the insight on CJ. Get healthy, best of luck this season, and we'll catch you down the road.
Awesome. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Absolutely. There he is, Kyle Smith, Washington State head basketball coach. That was a lot of fun. That was really good.
Yeah, you didn't have to hit Kyle Smith 7 more times to overcompensate.
All right, there he is, Chris Smith. I appreciate the time, Chris. Thank you so much for joining us here on the show.
I'm out. See you guys.
I'll see you. All right, there he is, Kyle Smith.